Hey, do you love that watercolor look but just don't know how to do it? In today's video, I'm going to show you the best way to watercolor a stamped image so it looks like you are an amazing watercolor artist. It's so easy. My name's Kristina Reese, and this is Creating with Kristina. And I've been doing a series on watercolor techniques, and this is my second video. So I hope you enjoy this. All right, to start this technique, you're going to need some special items. The first thing is you're going to need watercolor pencils. If you have not seen watercolor pencils, these are not coloring pencils. These are not colored pencils like Crayola colored pencils. Those have a wax base. These are actual watercolor pencils, and they have the paint, dried paint in like a lead. So like those little round discs you get for watercolors, it's just in the pencil. So it makes watercoloring so easy. Oh my gosh. Okay, the next thing you want is some aqua painters or paintbrushes. Paintbrushes, you're going to need some water. Aqua painters, what's really cool about them is, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can. See, there's water in the barrel, and you just squeeze it until the water gets down in the bristle. Come on, squeeze. There it goes. And it comes out there, and then you have water on your bristle. I like going ahead and having a bowl of water anyways. One, I can rinse off the paint, but also instead of constantly pushing this to get more water, I have a little more control with a bowl of water. And since I have a bowl of water and a little extra water, I also have a paper towel, okay, that I can kind of dab some of the excess water on. So paper towel. All right, so far we have our watercolor pencils and our aqua painters or paintbrushes, our water and our paper towel. The next things you're going to need is you'll want a stamp that you can color. Now, this is a pencil sketching of a fox that I'm going to be painting today. Any stamp will work as long as it's got, something to color. So that's that. You'll want a stamp that lends itself to watercoloring. Then you'll need some watercolor paper. All right. Watercolor paper is very fibrous, porous paper. It absorbs water beautifully. Anyways, so you're going to use that, and we sell it in the store, and it comes 6x9. I just cut mine down so that it would be the size I needed. All right, and the two more things. First of all, this is very important. You'll need StazOn or some kind of solvent ink, not water-based ink. If you get water-based ink like Mementos, then what's going to happen is as you paint with the water and the watercolor pencil, the water-based ink will bleed and blend into it, and you don't want that. StazOn is like a permanent alcohol marker, and it doesn't mix with water at all, so it will stay put. Okay, so StazOn is the brand we sell, but just make sure it says solvent ink on the package, okay? All right, so we've got that. And last but not least, I like having a stamp positioning tool. This is our Stamparatus. And the reason I like having that, and this is a magnetic plate down here, but I like putting a little piece of grid paper on here and mark, so that what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my watercolor paper on here, and then I'm going to take some washi tape and secure it so it doesn't move. That way, if for some reason I stamp and I don't get a good clean stamped image, I can restamp and it will stamp in the exact same spot. All right, are we ready to paint? I hope so. Here we go. All right, so I've got my StazOn ink. First step is to get my image on here. All right, so I'm just going to ink up my stamp here. And now solvent inks are permanent. They're like, what am I trying to say? That marker. I've totally drawn a blank. Anyways, a permanent marker, an alcohol-based marker. StazOn ink is just like that. But that means it is going to stain your ink pad, but that's okay. It's not going to get off onto other projects. because it stains it. It doesn't leave the ink there. All right. So I am going ahead and taking my sponge though, and I'm getting off as much as I can. Like I said, it's going to be stained on there because it's permanent ink, but I can get some off if you do it quick enough. Okay. All right. So there we go. And you can use a solvent ink cleaner on there if you want, but I have found that a stained ink stamp doesn't make any difference. All right, now that I've got my little wolf here, or my fox here, I'm sorry. Here we go. And now be careful when you remove your washi tape. Remember, this is very fibrous paper and it will tear. So if you lift it up like this, you could tear the paper. You want to pull away from the paper so you're not peeling the layers back this way. All right, we got that off of there. And that's another reason why you want to use a low tack tape too, like a washi tape. All right, we got that. Now let's do some watercolor painting. Okay, I said this is going to be the easiest way. Okay, the easiest way. I want to see if I can zoom in. Oh, look at there. Beautiful. All right. Watercolor pencils. I'm going to use our Cajun Craze. This is the closest to a rust that I have because I'm painting a classic fox. However you want to paint or color your animal, just Google images. And so I just Googled fox and looked at images. Then I Googled watercolor fox and I looked at those to kind of get an idea of how to do this. So I'm going to leave his little chest white, the tip of his tail white, and I'm going to paint his paws black. Okay. The rest of them is going to be this really pretty rust color. Now, another thing is, I'm only putting the pencil where the artist put some marks. Okay. I don't need to color the whole thing in because that's the beauty of watercolor. It's like the water is going to move all this color everywhere. So I really just need a little bit on there, and I don't have to be real careful about my coloring. Okay. So we've got all that in there. Remember, all that's going to be white. Okay. So we need some up here on his head and his ear. Okay. I think that's enough. Now, this is the fun part. You ready? Here we go. I'm dipping it in the water, or I'm pressing the water out of the barrel. Whoops. Oh my goodness. You couldn't even see that. I apologize. Let me do that again. All right. So I have my aqua painter here, and I can squeeze it to get the water out that way, or I can dip it in the water. But what I want to do is I want to pinch it. Okay. So it's not too wet. I could also dab it on the paper towel. Here we go. And now what happens? Have you all seen those coloring books where it's got the kind of the color on it and like dots of color in the place, and you just take a paintbrush and you color it? Well, that is exactly what we're doing here. Okay. That is exactly what we're doing here. Now notice that it's picking it up. And isn't this fun? I love this. This is so cool. All right. And like I said, because it's an aqua painter, all I have to do is constantly squeeze the barrel to get more water. Okay. This is what's so cool about aqua painters. All right. And just keep painting. Come in here, get some more color. All right. And like I said, he's going to have black paws down there. And just kind of keep rubbing it around. And if for some reason you didn't get enough color somewhere where you wanted color, let me show you another really cool thing. All right. And that is, you can take the tip of your pencil and get some paint on there and get it a little darker. Okay. So, and I just leave it on the table there, and it's like dipping it into a watercolor paint palette. Fun, huh? All right, I'm liking that. Like I said, I like having it a little darker where the artist puts some shadowing. But this is how easy it is to watercolor. When you have the right tools, you can do anything. All right, I'm going to color his face just a little darker. He's looking a little too, yeah. All right, now we're done with that. Let's see, I'm going to zoom back out. Whoops, there we go. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I am switching colors, and I need the black for his little paws. Okay. And now these are going to be kind of dark. So this is just black fur. I said, if you've ever seen a fox in the wild, they have like little black feet, a little white tip, and a little white chest. All right. Now that I've got that, dip it back in the water. Okay. And then just very carefully kind of follow the paw. And if you get too much, which I believe I have, okay, you can take your paper towel and just dab it. Don't rub it, just dab it, and it picks it up. Okay, let me zoom in so you can see that again. I'll do it on the back feet. All right, so I'm going to take my water, and let's say I get too much black ink. All right, and I can't even see the feet. You can take the paper towel, and when you pick it up, it's there. Okay. All right. So we've got that. Now let's do the background. I don't like for my animal to be just like out, just floating on a piece of paper. He needs a little, he needs to be anchored. He's standing on the ground, and I'm going to have a brown dirt ground for him. You can have, you know, grass or whatever. He's going to get brown, and I'm coloring it pretty dark right there, but then I'm coming in kind of light up here, over here. And that's enough because the water, I don't want it too dark. So I have my paintbrush here, and I just add the water and just keep rubbing, going back and forth. Oh, now that is way too dark in the back. All right, so there we go. Come back here where the shadow is. All right. There we go. Okay. All right. So we're done with the ground. Now let's do some sky. Just very lightly come around here, just around the edge of the little fox. Now we want a very light blue. We don't want it to look like the fox has a halo around him. We just want a sky back there. So dab it, get your bristles wet, and now just come in here and just start getting water on it. And this time I want it to be thin, so I'm getting more water. Okay. And the more water you have, the lighter the color will be. Okay. There we go. And I'm just going to get a little more water out on the far edges, so it kind of blends into the background. Don't have a harsh line there. Okay, and that is all there is to watercoloring. The best way to watercolor stamped images is to get watercolor pencils, color it in, use your aqua painter, and you are finished. Now, would you all like to see the card? All right, let me zoom back out so you can see the card. And this is what I did. And here it is. So I took the deckled edge rectangle, cut those out. I found designer paper that I liked. I matched up some cardstock with the DSP, put a little hello on there with some twine, and I have a beautiful card with a watercolor painting. And it looks like I'm this amazing watercolor artist. I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, there's a link to more watercolor videos. And I will see you next week with another watercolor tutorial. Thanks for watching.